Hello everybody, here we are. It's almost the middle of September. It's going by too quick. I want it to slow down, but here we are. We're in the Burr months, my favorite time of the year, and I'm ready to get back into doing a little bit more food content, and I thought this would be the perfect time to do it. So my name is Darlene. Welcome to A Peek Inside. I've been doing YouTube for over 9 years, and in 2024 I just felt like I needed a fresh start. I needed to just kind of focus differently on my channel. It's definitely been a journey. If you're more interested in all of that, you can follow back, but if this is your first time, my goal is to share things that are going to save you time and money. So over the years, I did a lot of food content on my channel, from freezer cooking to food prep to grocery shopping, and I was always a sales shopper. And one of the reasons why I want to get back into this is because, you know, I scroll, I see the frustrated video posts that people make about the cost of groceries. And unfortunately, they're not going to get any better. But if you get organized, you know, take a little bit of time, you can stretch that dollar. And I think the biggest thing I see of whenever I see people, you know, with their grocery hauls and all of that, and I'm like, well, yeah, you know, this adds up, that adds up. This is stuff that is convenience, or it's, you know, those little items that I know that they could get them for a better price. And I think when you take a little bit of time to get organized and, you know, be more mindful of what you're buying, you can definitely make your dollars stretch a little bit. You have to put the work in. I honestly believe that if you do all of your grocery shopping at one store, you're not getting the most for your money. You might have to do that because it is the quickest thing for you to do, but is it worth spending more, or is it worth, you know, giving up maybe 15-20 minutes a week? Once you're organized, it will get easier and easier to save a little bit of money. So all I can do is give you some tips, and it's up to you on what you can do to stretch your dollar a little bit more. I know that we all live in different areas, but it's just picking out a couple of stores that you know are easy for you to pop in and out of. I like self-checkouts, I like Walmart pickup orders, and I like Costco. I gotta drive to Costco, so I try and balance it all out. But I had a service call yesterday afternoon, and whenever I'm waiting for somebody to come, I just get anxious. I'm like waiting for them to come, and I decided to go through my freezer inventory, take a little bit of time to get organized, and I thought it'd be a really great time to share it with all of you as we're getting into the Burr months. You know, we're getting into more using the crock pot, soups and stews. So I'm going to share a little bit of the process with all of you, and once you get organized, it really gets easier and easier to do. It's just that initial time to get organized. So anyways, let's head to the kitchen and see what I did. If you are new to my channel, I have a 4-part food organization series. It is linked down below. It will give you a better idea of how I organize my pantry, my freezer, my fridge, how I do an inventory, and I think one of the videos is even how I sales shop. So you can go down and just watch all of them and then come back, and then you'll have a better idea. So I'm old school. I like pen and paper, and I've kind of switched to file folders, and I'm really liking it. So this one here is inventory. And I have some mishmash recipes in here. Like, this is a lot of stuff that I'm cleaning up. But I took the time yesterday to just kind of clean up and have the basics. So pork, beef, and chicken, that's usually what I focus on. That is how I have my freezer organized. So this is all like the meat. And then everything else in here is kind of convenient stuff. You know, some little odds and ends that I've been working on cleaning up. And then the other thing that I did was I made a pantry inventory. So Rayo's marinara, how much broth do I have? How much pasta do I have? I usually get my tomato products at Costco. So it just gives me an idea if I see something, or, you know, if we're going to be going into the city and stopping at Costco, I'm like, okay, you know, I don't really need any tomatoes, or it's like, okay, you know, I only have, you know, 2 cans of diced tomatoes left. Maybe I should pick up that case. So I just find like being organized, it can really help you. And same with sales. So for example, last week I saw that the ground turkey was on for $5.99 a pound. I know that's a really great price. I bought 4 of them. The week before, a grocery store had skinless, boneless chicken thighs on for $5 a pound, and they were packaged up in the size that I like, so I bought 4 of them. So I'm doing good. I have a couple of packages of chicken breasts, so next time I go to Costco, I definitely know that I need to pick one of those up. And then I just did a little bit of a brain dump too of simple meals. So meat, potato, vegetables, sheet pan, 1 pot, crock pot. I like to use my Dutch oven when I'm home all day in the stove. Soups and stews, start baking more. The sourdough starter, I'd like to do it, but every time I try, I just don't feel like it works for our small little family of 3. Like, I really wish I could get a starter. So we'll see. I would like to make granola. I've thought a little bit about making homemade yogurt, and I just don't know if my family would like it, but I would like to give it a try and see how it works. And then also doing special dinners where you spend a little bit more and have higher quality ingredients, you know, a more indulgent meal, something that you do maybe once or twice a month, and then just having some breakfast casseroles and possibly doing some freezer meals. Last week or the week before, I printed out a bunch of autumn recipes. A lot of them are Pioneer Woman, and then these are HelloFresh recipes. I use this service every once in a while when I can get it for 50% off. I do really like it, but these are some of the recipes that I can recreate. And then I also got all of my Pioneer Woman fall magazines out because I'm going to be going through them and making some meal ideas. The other thing I use a lot is my phone and the Flip app. I like to get the sneak peeks of the flyers, you know, seeing what there is. And it's also great if you're looking for a certain ingredient, you could type it in and it will give you the best price at what store. So there's a couple of things I use this for, and then I shop at certain stores. So the flyers, sneak peeks will come out the day before. It gives me a better idea, and then I kind of go from there. So this week I decided that Giant Tiger was a good little store to stop in and pick up a few things. I don't go to that store unless I really need to get something. It's like a department store. It has a little bit of everything in it, but I thought this was worth it. The baby carrots were 99 cents, so I grabbed a bag of that. They're just so convenient to have for snacking, and our dogs love them. And then they had the small bags of potatoes on for 99 cents each, so I grabbed one of each, just the duo color ones, the yellow and then the red. I use these quite often, and when I buy them at Walmart, they're usually $3, $4 a bag, and this is a great price. So what I do is I just cut them up, throw a little bit of oil, salt and pepper and everything on them, and I throw them in the air fryer, and everybody eats them. And if there's any leftovers, they just are great to have, you know, if you're having breakfast for hash browns or whatever. So that is what I got for $4. And then all of the other sales came out, and I usually do a Walmart pickup order when I need items, but most often I try and shop the sales, and that's exactly what I did this week. Food Basics and Walmart are my 2 major stores. Walmart is pretty much where I get all my staples, and I like the convenience of a grocery pickup. But Food Basics, I find, has the best sales. And No Frills is another store I go to, but I don't love it. I just find Food Basics works best for me. So it's a wowza sale. So the first thing that caught my eye was extra lean ground beef, $5.48 a pound. And I know from my inventory, I have none. So I definitely wanted to take advantage of that. Leeks are a good price, but I just don't know if I'm going to be making soup, so I'm going to leave that. That's a really great price too for cookies. Mums, $8.88. Grapes, that's a really great price, $1.58 a pound. Cauliflower, that's a good price, but I tried to do keto and I just don't love cauliflower, but it might be nice to roast it or do a soup, but I'm not going to pick it up today. That's a really great price too. Lunch meat, bologna. It's not something I buy very often, but for that price, it's always nice to pick those things up. And then broth, $1.25. I know that's a good price because the Walmart store brand is like $2. So it's really getting to know your prices. And then I just kind of look through, see if anything else kind of catches my eye. Like ketchup I get at Costco. Barbecue sauce, I have it and I don't need any more. I buy Rayo's marinara. That's one thing I like to spend a little bit more on. And you know, that's a good price, $11.99. my husband kind of said about that, but I like this stuff here better because I find it's a higher quality than this one. So we'll see what I think I need. Same with this here. Squash, that's a pretty good price, $1.48 a pound. I don't really know what rock bottom prices is anymore. So for example, last week at Food Basics, I got raspberries for $2. Now they're back up to the regular price of $3.98. So I picked up 4 of them last week and I still have some left. Not really anything else is jumping out at me. I know No Frills has whole chickens on, I think for $2 a pound, but it'll be crazy because everybody will be going there trying to buy them. And then usually the back page is where there's some sales too, but nothing is really jumping out at me. So what I do is I just kind of make a list. I feel like I only need to go to one store today, and that is Food Basics. The other thing I do before I go to get my groceries, like I'm doing a bigger sale shop today, is seeing if I need anything. I'm pretty organized, so I know we have lots of coffee cream. We're good for milk. I have more orange juice in our garage fridge, so I can bring that up. I have yogurt and cottage cheese in our garage fridge, so I'll bring that in, restock that. And then I have a couple of these yogurts my husband really likes. And then I bought a bunch of dessert yogurt and we haven't really eaten it, so that just means we need to focus on that a little bit. You know, some impulse things that I bought too, like the pudding, September the 9th, so we should have that tonight for dessert, finish it up. Just some protein drinks when I need them, plain yogurt. I always try and keep a Rayo's marinara open, a few grapes, some pumpkin, peppers, some potatoes from our last HelloFresh, so we're going to use those for dinner tonight. Cantaloupe, I got that for $2 on the weekend, and then there's the raspberries, lots of eggs, potatoes, onions, a couple of apples, carrots. My cheese drawer, I'm working my way on that, a couple of stuff left over from HelloFresh too. And then this is kind of my odds and ends. So my husband, for lunch today, I gave him one of these little adult Lunchables that we picked up on sale, and I'm actually going to have this for lunch today, so that will clean up so I can grab some lunch meat. And then I have it bacon, I'm going to be using it up tomorrow, some turkey pepperettes, we should be eating those up, cheese strings, and then I bought these last week, the little Pillsbury crescent things. I always like to have these for, you know, quick easy sides, kind of help make a meal feel a little bit fuller. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go out, get the cottage cheese, the yogurt, and the orange juice, stock all that up. And same with this up here. These are some dips that I bought on sale. This one hasn't been open, so we should focus on these this weekend. We have fruit dip, cottage cheese or cream cheese, and sour cream is open. And then I also have some of this sun-dried tomato pesto left, and that would be great to use for pizza. So I'm gonna go out and shop my garage fridge and then also put the potatoes in there for when we need them. I am very thankful to have the extra fridge in our garage. So a couple of weeks ago I got orange juice. I bought 4 of them. So I brought 2 in. I still have 1 left. A couple of weeks ago, cottage cheese was on it, no frills. $3.50 for these. I really like these little containers. My husband eats one every morning, and then I'll eat 1 or 2 here and there. And it was on sale for $3.50. I know that's a really great price because they're normally $6 for this. So that was worth stocking up on. And then a couple of weeks ago, I went into Food Basics to grab some stuff, and I like these yogurt packs. They don't have them at Walmart, so I just went ahead and picked them up because I know I was going to need them eventually. So this was the week that I needed them because I'm going to be spending a little bit more money on my shop this week because there's a lot of meat and everything that I want to get. So we're going to go ahead and then restock our fridge and then see what we need. I put everything in here. I'm very happy with it. So the other thing I want to look at is if I'm in Food Basics, you know, if I see something that I know is a good price, should I pick it up? So for example, we bought the Fairlife milk for a long time, but it's getting expensive, and this Lactancia one is at least $1.50 cheaper. So I know I'm going to Food Basics, but this one here has about like that much left, and this one here has about that much left. So I think I'm good until next week. That way I can just run in. I don't know what the sales are going to be, but I do know because I'm getting ground beef this week and probably some other products, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. So I feel like I can skip these items, and then if I go back, I could always grab 1 or 2 because it is a good price. And, you know, I just don't feel like it's worth it adding it to my pickup order because it just drives the price up a lot more. So I think I'm good for everything else. So I have my list and everything made, and then I'm gonna go to Food Basics and share with you what I bought. And this is everything that I bought. I had 2 bags full. This cost me $104.39, and I saved $79.94. So let's go over what I bought. Parsley, green onions, and Dijon mustard. A lot of recipes call for this, and I want to use these this weekend, so I just picked them up. And then this was an impulse purchase. It was $6. There wasn't a lot left. I've been using it with my protein coffee, and it's probably not going to be around in October, so I decided to pick another one up. I got the cookies. They were $1.50, and this was a great sale because it says I saved $3.19 on each of them. Like $1.50 for cookies is really good. It's not something I buy a lot, but these are such a high quality cookie. They're nice with a coffee, and it's the same weight, it's just different packaging, so some people might be turned off. So I got a couple of these milk chocolate and then the finger cookies. We like a little something something sweet after dinner, or even on a rainy day when you're having a coffee, just to have a little biscuit with it. I just enjoy it. Same with the broth. This was half price, $1.25. I know that the store brand is $2 at Walmart, so I decided to pick some up since I had the room. I got 3 of the reduced sodium chicken broth, 1 reduced sodium beef, and then 1 each of the beef with red wine and the chicken with white wine. So that's really nice if I'm making a stew, and the chicken with white wine is also nice if you're making like an Alfredo or something. And then I did end up getting the fish, $11.99. These were a savings of $8 each. So at Food Basics they were $19.99, and then I quickly looked up the app at Walmart and these were $17 something each, so $11.99 is a great price. And this is the fish our son will eat because it's breaded, and this also helps with a quick easy dinner. Like there's those little potatoes, you do a little vegetable on the side, you do what you can. Every meal isn't perfect, but I'm saving money. These are a little bit higher quality than the other ones, and I was able to get them for a good price, so they'll be in my freezer until I need them. Same with grapes. That's a really great price. So I like when stores tell you how much you save. So the grapes, I saved $6.88 on the red, and I saved $6.40 on the green. So that's going to be our fruit for the week. Same with lunch meat. I don't buy it very often, but when I went to get it one day, I was like, holy smokes, like it is expensive. So these were a savings of $4.30 each. I got the shaved hickory smoked chicken breast, shaved hickory smoked turkey breast. So you open up this, it'll make enough sandwiches for the 3 of us. And I also got bologna. It's not something I get very often, so this was on sale, $3.98, and it was a savings of $4.51. And I got the thick slice. That is what my mom always bought, because that was, like, growing up, one of my favorite meals was mashed potatoes, cream corn, and fried bologna. And I made fried bologna once, and our son loved it. So it's just one of those things. You make some fried bologna, you cook up some eggs, open up a can of beans, have some fruit, you're good to go. You do what you gotta do. And then, of course, the ground beef, $5.98 a pound, so these were 17 something each. So for the ground beef, I saved $10.39 on one and $10.43 for the other. So I'm gonna break these up. I only got 2. I might get more. I might see. We might make meatballs with them, but my husband's the meatball maker. But this is going to be on sale all week. Like, I bought it the first day of the sale. So if I feel like, we're going to get some more ground beef, and then we can get some of the squash. I just got what I felt was right for today, and then I'll kind of like reevaluate everything. So I'm just going to get everything kind of put away for now, and then update my inventory, and then just kind of rearrange my fridge. My little Costco closet is filling up, but that's okay because I'm starting off the season and getting to know the prices. So I have all of the broth there. There's my Rayo's marinara. I just threw the cookies there, and I get certain things at Costco. And then we finished up our vitamins this morning. So these were $4 off. I bought a couple of containers, and now I'm able to grab them. And that's all I need out of here. So we'll close it up and then finish everything else off, and we are done and tidied for the morning. And as you can see, it was really quick and easy to tidy everything up. It's 10:13. There's the vitamins. Clean my sink up a little bit better, but the dishwasher and everything is run. I didn't break down the beef yet. I'm going to do it later. I don't have time to do it right now, so I will add that to my freezer inventory. And then I just wrote the fish up there. I would like to try some salmon and all of that just for my husband and I. I know our son won't like it, so it'll be nice to have like an extra 1 or 2 of those too if there's more in the box than what we need. And then I just kind of updated my broth so I know exactly what I need. So I'm probably not going to need it for a little bit, but you know, if it's a rainy, cold day and you just want to make a quick, easy soup, you take a couple of containers of chicken broth, get your carrots, celery, and onion. You know, if you have chicken left over, it's just a quick, easy way to, you know, get dinner on the table or a quick, easy lunch. You throw some noodles in, you're good to go. So anyways, this is all organized, and this here too. I'm just going to put it in my little inventory file. And I just keep everything on my little bread box here, and then I have all of the Fall Pioneer Woman magazines out, and then I'm just going to make a list from each magazine, some different recipes. So if I'm like, oh, I want to make something nice for dinner, or I don't know what to make for dinner this week, I already have it written out, and then I can refer to the picture, go print out the recipe, and get whatever other ingredients I need. And here is my fridge. We have our basic things that we use all the time stocked up on the other items. Then I have grapes, raspberries left over, the cantaloupe's almost done, but I do have carrots here, lots of peppers and more carrots here, and then I have all of the potatoes. I do need to do a little bit of food prep and all of that, but I just don't have time to do it right now. It'll probably either get done tonight or tomorrow, I'm not sure. And then I also have something quick to grab for lunch because it's just been a really busy week, but I was still able to stay organized and on top of everything, and my future self will thank me on the weekend when I can slow down a little bit and maybe make a really nice fall meal. I know it was a lot, but I really wanted to share with you how I take little things, I just try and get organized, and then once you create a system, like some weeks I scroll the apps and I'm like, nope, there's nothing worth picking up today. And sometimes it's like, yeah, there's only one little item on sale. Is it worth it going into another store? I might end up picking up more stuff than I need. So I'm like, no, it's not worth it. I'm just gonna go ahead and add it to my pickup order. It's really about finding out what works for you. But for me, I felt it was worth it to do a special trip today to Food Basics. I saved almost $80 and I think it was worth it. And the best tips I can give with you is pick out the stores that work for you, that are close to you, that it's easy to pop in and out of. So for me, I really like Food Basics. They have the self-checkouts. I find I can get in and out. I usually pretty much stick to my list. The other store I really like is Walmart because I like doing a pickup order. It's very convenient. I kind of know the prices and you can pretty much get whatever you need and they'll bring it right out to your car. The other store I do like is Costco. It's a couple of hours away, but there's some things that I find is a better price there. It's better quality. And there's some things that we go through a little bit more often, and I like to have the bigger packages, especially toilet paper, paper towel, and Kleenex. So pick the stores you like, and if you're gonna start doing an inventory, start small. Just start with your protein. So for me, it's always chicken, pork, and beef. If you don't have a lot of freezer space, prioritize what is important to you. Ground beef, chicken, those are usually the two things that people use the most of. So if ground beef goes on sale and you see how much room you have in your freezer, prioritize. Okay, this is on sale. I'd like to make spaghetti sauce. I'd like to make chili. I'd like to make some meatballs, a meatloaf, hamburger patties. Figure out how much you're gonna save and how much you need and kind of work with that. And then the next week, 2 weeks from now, chicken goes on sale, kind of reevaluate it. If you can save a lot of money on meat, I think that's the best thing to do. And the other thing I like to do is really focus on the produce sales. So last week I got cantaloupe and raspberries for less than $2. Now this week it was grapes for what, $1.60 a pound. That's what I try and prioritize. So if there's nothing on sale, I'll usually just kind of get the basics, or I'll spend a little bit more, but I won't get as much, or maybe start using canned fruit or frozen fruit. It's really figuring out what's gonna work for you and your family. But I would say those are the best things to start off with. You know, have a little bit of room to stock up on things that you use on a regular basis, that you know that if I can save, you know, $2, $3, $4 a pound, it all adds up. Using the produce that's on sale that week for snacking, for your meals, and then, you get into a little bit of a rotation of what you can do. If peppers are on sale, you could do fajitas, you could do stuffed peppers, you can make a roasted pepper soup. Like there's so many things that you can use, and then maybe you get a little bit out of your meal rut, but it's just doing what you can and then also figuring out the time. Yes, it takes time to run into the store here and there, but if you do it early in the morning or late at night, like it's probably easier. And self-checkouts, I love them. I know some people don't, but I think they are very convenient, and it's all about figuring out what's going to work for you, because I know our time is valuable, but if you're doing everything at one store, I promise you're not getting the most for your dollar. But life is busy, things happen, and you can only do the best that you can. But if you know that if you can take even 15-20 minutes a week, save a little bit of money so you can go out for dinner, you can put a little bit of money away, maybe buy a new shirt, maybe buy a new book, or treat yourself to a coffee that you never get to enjoy, I think it's worth the time. It's up to you if you want to put it in there. But anyways, I'm doing it anyways, and I thought if I could share a couple of little ideas that help you save a little bit of money, then that is the goal. And I'm trying to get back into a little bit more food content, but give me a little bit of time. So I'll try and put like food vlog or grocery haul or saving money. So if you are new, like, comment, subscribe so you don't miss out. I do a variety of videos, but only watch what you're interested in, and comment down below what you want to see more of. Obviously food prep, dinner ideas, you know, maybe taking a week of how I buy something, or if I get something on sale, what recipes I make it. So it could help you if something is on sale. So as always, feedback is greatly appreciated. I also have my email address in there now, so if there's any suggestions or things that you want to share, I know a lot of you have shared lots of recipes that you like, or even just sending me messages about different things that you've learned from me that have helped you being more organized, because there is nothing worse than thinking that you have a pound of ground beef in your freezer and you dig all the way to the bottom, you know, your feet are up in the air and you're like, I don't have any ground beef, I gotta go to the store, and then you're paying top dollar for it. So that is part of the reason of why I started to have a freezer inventory. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm really looking forward to getting more organized, giving you more tips and tricks on how to save money, stretch your dollar, and hopefully enjoy getting dinner on the table again. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you all have a great day, and I will talk to you all soon.